everyone and welcome to the Sweet Beatz channel. This week we are going to be looking at one of my favourite drummers from my formative years. So when I first started playing drums, I was in sort of the big, the early 90s, so the big bands at the time was sort of the grunge scene with like Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, Nirvana. So we're going to today be looking at an idea by one of my favourite drummers, as I say, who is Dave Abruzzese, who was the drummer for Pearl Jam. So he was on the first album 10, but he did do the tour, and then he played on the next two records, Versus and Untitled. And there was something about his playing I just loved, because you know, obviously Pearl Jam were kind of a rock band, but you could hear he had other influences there. The way he played, the sort of syncopation, definitely had an understanding of funk music. You could definitely hear the inspiration from players like Stuart Copeland with his use of splash cymbals and chinas, and I just loved the ideas he came up with. So to me, he sort of stood out as one of those kind of great drummers. So what we're going to look at today is a lick I used to comp all the time from him. So we're going to break it into different sections and then maybe do an extension task, how we could change the sticking up a little bit. So if you look at the screen now, you'll see this is the main figure, and the way it plays is actually a 3/2. So we're in 4/4 time, and why 3/2? What I mean is you're counting 3 sets of quavers. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 at the end. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and the rhythm itself is da 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 da. So I'm going to play it as a 1-bar phrase, and then I'm going to play it as a 2-bar phrase. And when you play it as a 2-bar phrase, you can see it goes over the bar line. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take it to the set, and I'm just going to play it simply on the snare drum. And if you look at the sticking, it's all single strokes. Okay, let's go for it. Part 2. What we're going to do now is voice it on the kit. So what Dave Abruzzese liked to do, as you can see from the music, is he played it on the snare, but then he played off the open hi-hat onto the bell of the cymbal. So we get this da 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 sting da 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 sting da 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 da. So I'm going to play that for you now. Have a listen and have a go. Part 3. What we're going to do with this now is we're going to play it as a 2-bar phrase. So as I said earlier, this is going to actually play over the bar line. And again, it's the same voicing, because it's going to go from the snare, open hi-hat, right cymbal. But this time, as I say, it's going to go over the bar line. So it's da 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 da. Yeah. So again, because it goes over that bar line, it gives the sense of time's a little bit ambiguous, and again, it adds to sort of the rhythmic interest of it. So I'm going to take it to the kit now, have a go, see if you can comp it. Okay, part 4, we're going to take the same rhythmic figure, but rather than playing it single strokes, I'm going to play it as double strokes. So I'm going to take it to the snare drum now, just play it as doubles. You'll hear the articulation, obviously, because it's a double rather than single. Sounds slightly different, even though the rhythm is exactly the same. So let's have a listen. Okay, part 5. With this extension task now, with changing up the sticking, all we're going to do is simply play between the snare drum and the floor and the high. So it's right, right, left, left, floor tom, left, left, right, right, left, high tom, right, 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 right. Have a listen. Okay, I hope you had fun trying to play those things. Obviously, there's lots of different ways we can voice it and play this idea by changing the sticking up. I've just given you a couple of examples. Best thing to do is go and listen to Dave play himself. He's an amazing drummer, as I say, a really big inspiration for me when I was a younger player. So have a listen, check out some of his great playing as well, and I will see you on Friday for the Simple Review. Have a great week, everyone.